Welcome you to Environmental Science 1401. This is Dr. Shmaefsky, and in this video, I'd just like to give you the class expectations and how to use the D2L website. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Dr. Shmaefsky, and that's how you pronounce it, but typically I go by Dr. S because that's just easier to say and remember, and you don't have trouble pronouncing it. My office is in the Science Instructional Building, 202V, and sometimes I'm actually at a Tuscaloosa Center occasionally, but I am full-time faculty, and this is my phone number. It's preferred that you don't call. The best way to get a hold of me, definitely not by fax, because we don't use the fax really, but by my Lone Star email, and it's best to contact me through your D2L email, because that's the way I'll be contacting you. And preferably going to contact me through a new email and not a reply to an email that I sent previously, because it ends up kind of weirding out the system. Um, I am a full-time professor at the college, and I am the one environmental science full-time professor. Actually, I am kind of like the department, and we do have some part-time faculty that I oversee. But I am a professional environmental scientist, and that's where my degrees are. And I also worked in the field, and I do a lot of volunteering for research organizations and in the community. And I also serve on committees, which gives me the opportunity to travel locally a lot, but also across the country and internationally. And in this case, in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, doing a study on a coral reef we have in the Gulf of Mexico using a very expensive underwater remote control submarine. So it is very important to know how to navigate my D2L site, and I try to keep it as organized as I could. And but the important thing for you is when you log in is to make sure you go to the content window, and the content window gives you a heck of a lot of information. Every now and then, though, you want to go to that grade window and check, but grades, some assignments I would put the grade in immediately. Other times it takes a while. Quizzes will be taken online. So under assessments window, you will see quizzes, and those grades get reported right after you take the exam. But in the content window, please pay attention to this area right here for the modules. And look at the course overview, because it does give you a little background again on how to use D2L. And there will be sometimes a posting of upcoming events or of announcements. Now, when you go down to the table of contents, I post the videos, a preview of the Habitable Planet materials, but every time you'll be assigned a Habitable Planet within a lesson, you'll be provided with those materials, but this is just a courtesy for you to see. The PowerPoints for the course are there, and then you'll be seeing lectures and other activities posted below that. But please make sure you go to the content window. I should say check it every day to make sure of assignments. And once I post an assignment start date, you should be getting that too. And you'll see with each assignment, there'll be a start date and a due date. But the start date will be the information that you'll get. But again, pay attention to the due dates. I will not lock out assignments for the due date, but there will be penalties for submitting late if you don't email me ahead of time and give me a reasonable excuse. So please do read the course syllabus. That's why it's posted. And there's going to be a lot of information as far as book materials and just the sequence of the class in general. And I do provide other materials like links and other things to different information. So please go through the syllabus at least. And this is your course description. So in this class, we'll be looking at the fundamental principles of environmental science, and we're going to be not just memorizing stuff, but looking at applications, and we'll be debating some of the content. This course is going to be almost like a science course mixed with a little math, a little physics, a little chemistry, and a lot of sociology and economics and business principles, because that's what environmental science involves. It's not just the science, but because I do very little science, funny enough, but I do mostly a lot of applying the science to making environmental decisions. Now, really, if I was a student, um, I would be concerned about the evaluation part of this course. Now, I was interested in learning a lot of stuff, but the evaluation was important too. So for this class, I'm going to just add up to say just the equivalent of what's called 1,000 points. Don't worry about what's on grade your grade sheet, which would be posted on D2L. Just be concerned about your running average. This, to me, is just so you can look at the weight, what we call the statistical weight of the assignments and the tests. So you get an idea that tests are only a small part of the grade, but still important. And what's going to be important too is that the test is going to be weighed compared to different assignments. So there will be 3 take-home tests that are worth about 100 points each, and you'll be taking these online, and they will be graded upon you taking the exam. And I'm going to give you 3 tries to take it, the exams. And after that, you're just locked out, and it gives you you'll be awarded the highest grade. It won't average out all your grades. So you can just kind of take a run through the test first, see how you do, and then seriously try to study for it. It is an open book test, and it's not timed. So you will have the chance to use your resources like the textbook, and the questions are really right out of most of the textbook material, and for the PowerPoints. So please be aware you have those resources available for the test. It is not a timed test, but do make sure that you have references available when taking the exam. There'll be 200 points for different types of assignments we'll be doing. Okay, and these assignments will be anything from labs to whatever, different types of activities. Um, there will be 100 points awarded to what we call Flipgrid video assignments. So I will give you a topic, and you will do like anywhere from a 3 minute to no more than 10 minutes. Some people like talking that long. Assessment of the assignment. So this could be a debate. It could be a critique, like of, let's say, nuclear energy, but I will be giving you a reading or short videos to look at, and then you're going to comment on them. And please, a lot of students do not do this assignment due to whatever issues, and that can make a grade difference. Okay, so I do evaluate your Flipgrids and grade them. Then there's a very important assignment called the Annenberg Habitable Planet Lessons, and I'll go into this shortly. You'll be getting about 6 to 8 of these, depending on what I feel like assigning and what's important to the particular emphasis of that semester. So these would be an online video, and you'll have an answer sheet to answer questions based on the video. And on the answer sheet, you have to answer all of the questions. There'll be 2 sets of questions. You'll see on that, and I'll explain that a little later. And then we do have a comprehensive final, which is worth about 2 tests, and it is all essay. And that will be submitted online. You don't email these to me, and I will grade them online, and you'll see a grade upon me completing your evaluation. There's only one chance to take the final, and you will have at least 4 days to work on it. So, and then there's a definite cutoff point, because once I give you a cutoff point for finals, that means I have to have all those grades in and done, and I have very little time to grade the finals and get the grade ins. And then we will have an extra credit opportunities. That means don't ask me to do extra credit, because I will provide that opportunity, and it's your option to take it or not. And some of these extra credit projects are fun products. Like in the spring, we have something called Nature Fest goes on at Jesse Jones, which you can volunteer for, and we have either virtual or activities for Earth Day. And then in fall, we have other things going on too. So I usually have a lot of projects going on that you could earn extra credit for. But extra credit is not going to make up for a lot of Fs. It usually just helps to bump a grade a little if, let's say, you did a bad test grade. But if you put in a lot of effort too, it could make a difference. It's not going to turn a C into an A, but it does help to raise your grade sometimes, to a grade letter change. Now, I do want to clarify the Habitable Planet assignments, because this is a very crucial assignment, because it's going to give you a lot of the information in a way that I can't give it to you, and it's going to cite some great research studies and look at the issues behind it, including ethics or applications. This is the website for it. You do have a hyperlink in D2L for that, and you can just look at that on your own. Don't do assignments without me telling you. And the order you see here is not the order I'm going to assign them, except we will be doing this one first, and then later on, I mean, like for the second one, we'll probably be doing this one. So just do them in the order that I tell you to. So I will, for example, say this is going to be Habitable Planet for week 1. And that will be submitted in a file called HP1, and that will be your grade for HP1 on Gradebook. Now, the second Habitable Planet I will assign could be this one. So that will be called HP for week 2 or HP2. Don't go in this order. Don't do these without asking. So don't worry about these until I give you a lecture where these are due. And we might not touch upon all of these because it depends on how I present the material and where I feel you need the reinforcement for the Habitable Planet. But again, you'll be viewing a video and I'll give you a link to pull up a Word doc that you will write onto and then submit. And I warn you, it will be an involved project that you're answering a series of short answers, and I will give you, some word count requirements for that. And this is a great assignment. Students usually love it, and I think it's of value to get the information that's in this. It's very, very interesting information. So this is what the Habitable Planet assignment looks like, and usually what I'll do is hyperlink you to the direct video or assignment that you're going to see. So this is just a list of all the different activities, and they come with movies. Some of them come with labs, and we'll probably be doing a couple of Annenberg Habitable Planet labs that will not necessarily be at the same time I have you look at the video. And the labs are going to be a virtual lab that's on the Habitable Planet platform, and it will provide you with a worksheet to fill out. So in your syllabus, what I have here is basically the table of contents of your book, and we will strictly follow this order, and we will get through all of this. Your book is an easy read. It's really not that bad, and I'm not going to test over every darn word and sentence in the book, but I will test on important concepts, and I will test on things that might not be exactly in the book, but it's applying information from the book, very much like the Habitable Planet questions are going to ask. And I can ask material from the laboratories that we do too. And the Habitable Planets, I'm not going to ask you test questions on because those questions will be handled in the Habitable Planet because that's kind of like open book too. So sometimes we'll be covering 2 chapters at a time. And guys, and how fast we go through this depends on the whole nature of how the semester goes and where a holiday fits in. But I guarantee we'll cover all of this. And again, this is not like a chemistry, physics, or whatever course where you're just memorizing tons of stuff. And you do have open book tests, but understand you do have to read the book, so when you are tested out of the book, you'll know where to find the information. The same is true for the PowerPoints. You'll know which PowerPoints to go to for the particular information. So we're going to be covering a lot of topics that all involve probably some of the disciplines that you will be going into. And your first flip grid assignment will be giving yourself an introduction, and you'll be telling me about yourself, I should say, and you'll be telling me what your major is and why you're taking the course. And be honest if you're taking the course because you think, hey man, I heard, that this is better than biology, physics, chemistry, whatever. But understand we do have a fair amount of work in this course. I think the material is very relevant to everyday life, but it is going to be somewhat of a rigorous course. So what's an average lesson going to look like? You will usually have a lecture video done by me. Okay. There may be a topic video called Bozeman Science or some other videos I'll be showing that are instructional. The Bozeman would be a reinforcement to my own lecture because those videos sometimes do a better job than I do. And again, there'll be assignments based on case studies or videos. And sometimes I'll have a case study posted. I'll have just readings to do and whatever. For every other lecture, or I should say every other week, we'll probably have a a habitable planet video to do and an answer sheet for you to complete and submit in a Dropbox online. Every now and then you'll post a Flipgrid. I'll give you a topic that I don't want a written report about, but I just want you to discuss. And even when you're on Flipgrid, you have the opportunity to look at the other students' videos and comments on that. Okay, occasionally we will have a test the same week that we will have lecture content, because it doesn't take a whole week to do a test. So the time we have tests, you will have other content to cover too. And then, of course, the final will be during finals week, and you'll have much of finals week to get it done, but I will set a deadline and when you're supposed to get that final in, so I have time to grade all the assignments, grade your finals, because sometimes it gets me a while to get caught up on grading everything, and then I can calculate your grade so you have a good sense where you're standing grade-wise by the time you take the final. So guys, please email me if you have any questions. Now, please do send, an email through D2L, and don't attach it to any class announcement email that I sent, because those end up doing what's called stacking, and I start losing, the emails start stacking other emails from other students to it, and I don't see their emails then, because whichever one came in last sits on top. So just send me a fresh email through D2L so I know what section number you're in and what course you're in, because I do sometimes have up to 4 or 5 courses that I'm teaching, and it's hard to keep track of 180 students. But please send me an email if you don't understand instructions. Do read through all the instructions, particularly under D2L on any assignment. And I do know students from the previous semester do give you hints and other information about the class, but don't listen to what they tell you, because I change up assignments, and read exactly the information that I give you. So let's look. I'm looking forward to a good semester, and good luck.